19, Reese Brown. Head coach for the Flying Dutchman is Dave Blahnik. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, if you would, please remove your caps. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Your officials for this afternoon's contest, Josh Abst, Kenny Nunez, and Andrew Johnson.
For the Flying Dutchman, this is their third game in 5 days. So we'll see how their legs are doing as they enter into this game. Especially look to some of the back line, Cole Pauly, Jake Lyon, Colton Baker, who have played extended minutes. Some of these midfielders, Ethan Jansen, Matt Wimmer, Josh Weigel, who just puts so much, covers so much space. We'll see during this game how they come out and how their legs are against a very good opponent. Daniel Hesselbein feeds Jake Lyon the ball up to Josh Weigel. Early on, a good run of possession from Hope College, trying to build up the sideline. These two teams tied 1-1 earlier in the preseason last year. A great game. Seth Walters, actually a forward, last year's freshman and offensive player of the year for Hope, was the lone goal scorer, but he is out for this game with an injury. And Hope early on starts. Reese Brown tries to play through to Tom DeVries. Got some different starters up top for the Hope College Flying Dutchman, and Tom DeVries, who had a great game yesterday. Early season has had a great run of play starting up top. He's earned 2 PKs in big spots and then had the game changing assist. That looks like a bad tackle right there, but ref says play on. Our center ref for the game is Josh Apst. Our ARs are Kenny Nunez and Andrew Johnson. Early on, Ethan Jansen wins the ball in the midfield. Tom DeVries plays it over the top. Ethan gets onto the ball, and no, just in the last minute, defender Jacob DiRienzo comes out and clears it off the line. Reese Brown looks to drive up the sideline. Hope early on with trying to build the spell, but of possession, swing it side to side. A totally different looking game early on. Oh, Reese Brown with the left-footed hit, took a little hop up off the turf, said I'm going to have a go from here. A great early save from John Biederstedt, the junior from Indianapolis, Indiana. Reese tried to catch him a little bit by surprise. Looked like that one might have been dipping in either off the crossbar or into the goal, and Biederstedt with the great save. Hope will look to take a short corner between Wimmer and Ole Olsen. Rose Hulman is up to the task, pushes the ball back out to Colton Baker, who's looking to play a long ball into the back stick. Oh, Cole Pauley. Ball drops into Ethan Jansen. Goalkeeper is out. He gets back onto his line. Mario's going to in-swing it with the left. Oh, almost. Oh, dangerous play comes off of Jacob Pohl, the junior defender from Avon, Indiana, and Hope will look to get another corner. Mario is going to be on the ball. Ole comes in for a short corner. Again, Rose Holman brings 2 up to the line. Plays out to Wimmer, back to Mario, back into the mix. Rose Holman again up to the task. A quick counter from Matthew Schwartz. Plays up to Connor Patton. Oh, wow. Almost caught Daniel Hesselbein off his line. One of the great things about Daniel Hesselbein is just his incredible goalkeeping ability, only giving up 3 goals so far this season in 6 games, which is probably one of the tops in the nation at this point as far as defensive ability and shutouts. Tom DeVries gets in behind, but Dan is great with his feet and got caught off his line a little bit on that play, and Rose Holman almost capitalized. Ball into Wimmer. Colton Baker looks to bring up the sideline. Oh, nice little hezzy there, and Rose Holman gobbles it up. Cole Pauley getting up the field. Cole Pauley likes one of the better center backs in Division III soccer, and he says, I want to get in on the offense every once in a while. So you'll see him up in the box on corner kicks, set pieces, and even stepping up. As we talked about before, Hope College is coming off an incredible win over the reigning national champions. They were outshot and outpossessed in the game last night. One specific counterattack in the first 25 minutes of the game yesterday, and then held on to a 1-0 lead. But it was an incredible game, incredible result for a team that's been looking for those type of results. A number of 0-0 ties over the last couple of years, and that type of result will change confidence for a team. It'll bring a lot of good things to come for Hope. Cole Pauley fumbles that ball a little bit, but ultimately gets it out. Number 24, Peter Borger, with a great step, plays it back to Matthew Schwartz out wide. Nice cross, and Daniel Hesselbein will come down with it, and the crowd will applaud. Both the offensive little spell of possession for Rose Hulman as well as Hope College's defense. And Daniel Hesselbein has been just massive back in goal for Hope College, and you'll have to do a little bit better than that to score on him for the season. Rose Hulman coming off a great season last year, 13-2-4, 8-0-1 in conference. As you look at some of their players, they've graduated some of their great players, but they still have a bunch back. That looks like a late tackle, and Reese Brown will earn the kick with the foul on Salik Ahmad, the junior from Plainfield, Indiana. Hope has been dangerous all year on their set pieces. Mario will look to swing the ball in, kind of play it over that line. They're playing a line at about 16 yards out. He'll try and drop it in between them and the goalkeeper and see who can get onto it. A great play by Biederstedt, getting two hands on that. Brownie again, little left in swinger, and wasn't able to get fully around on that ball. Good early start from the Flying Dutchman, creating some opportunities in the box. Biederstedt has had to be on his game to keep Hope out of the goal so far. But totally different game than last night. The University of Chicago held most of the possession, and possession, but that doesn't mean Rose Hulman hasn't looked dangerous as well. Rose Hulman is coached by Sean Hellawell. It is his 16th season at the helm. The Fighting Engineers are 2-2-1 on this season, and they just coming off a 2-0 victory against DePaul in Indiana. It's a cloudy day here in Holland, Michigan. A little cooler than it has been. A perfect day for a football game. The guys will love being on the pitch in this type of game, especially after playing so many minutes last night. We'll see. Oh, a great ball from Mario. Ethan is onto it. Looks like Biederstedt got a tip to that ball. Ethan Jansen tried to just get his right foot outside of the boot to it, and a creative ball from Mario trying to get in behind the defense. It's good to have Captain Mario back out on the pitch. One of the more creative players on Hope's team. Mario is coming off a first-team all-conference season last year where he just played phenomenally. Hope has opted to go with the short corners so far in this game and tried to build the possession. Ole takes on the defender, gets to the end line, plays it across, and it is blocked out of bounds again for, I believe, is the fourth corner so far in this early game. Looks like Hope's going to go with a little different strategy, trying to get into the mixer, see if they can get it on Jake Lyon, Ethan Jansen, or Cole Pauly's head here at the back stick. Ole, right-footed player, will try and in-swing it with 34:06 in this 0-0 game. Didn't get a hold of that ball, but Colton Baker will gobble it up. Hope looking to build some early possession. Daniel Hesselbein able to play higher up the field. As you know, Rose Hulman almost caught him by surprise earlier in the half. Ethan Jansen all over the field, playing in the midfield right now, but coming in from that 10 position and trying to get in behind the defense. Already has had a great season so far, leading goal scorer for the Flying Dutchman, 3 goals on the season, a number of assists. Ethan Jansen this summer played for USL2 team in North Carolina, Charlotte area, and he's just come in top form from that experience into this season and is playing at the top of his game. Rose Hulman with a good little spell here into Hope's half. Julius Salinas, the senior midfield from Bakersfield, California, with some trying to build and gain a little of possession to get Hope's pressure off of them. Weigel with a diagonal run. Mario looks to play over the top, isn't able to get it down the line enough, and it goes to the Rose Hulman keeper. I'm missing my partner in crime, Paul Willard, tonight. It's fun. He brings the humor, and I hope to give a little bit of that as well. Oh, a little bit of an offside call as Ole tries to get in behind. That is not a goal, even though Ole would like it to be a goal. My friends Lance Pello and Paul Willard last night called a great game. Lance Pello, I was actually set to call the game, and I went to a concert with my wife for date night. It was a great choice, and yet I felt very torn as Hope had one of their better games in years, beating the reigning national champion. First time, I believe, in the last 10 years, according to our great SID, Sports Information Director Alan Babbitt, that Hope beat a top 10 team since 2013, and so a great result. Cole Pauly will knock that out for a corner kick as Caleb Urban, the 5th-year senior from Martinsville, Indiana, and also one of Rose Hulman's better players and all-conference players from last year, putting the pressure on. So they'll have their first corner of the game, I believe. Plays it in. Wimmer with a little header down, doesn't fully clear the box. That's played back across the middle. Mario wins it. Ethan Jansen gets into the tackle, maintains possession. An incredible play from Ethan Jansen. Finds DeVries in behind. Oh, beats the defender and misses to the, wow. The individual efforts by Ethan Jansen and Tom DeVries on that play were incredible. Ethan held off what looked like 4 players for Rose Hulman, played a slotted ball in behind, similar to Mario's ball earlier, and DeVries gets behind the defense and just misses wide of the right post. The best opportunity of the half so far for the Flying Dutchman. Again, coming off the creativity and work rate of Ethan Jansen, who's just been a revelation this season. Rose Hulman will look to possess a little bit. Their center backs, Salik Ahmad and Jacob Pohl, both juniors, one from Plainfield, Indiana, and Avon, Indiana, will look to kind of settle this game down as Hope has found themselves in behind a couple times and just have not been able to finish in this first 15 minutes of the game. Josh Weigel plays the ball back to Jake Lyon. Cole Pauly over to Wimmer. Hope has a senior-laden team on the field right now. A lot of juniors and seniors, with the lone exception at this point in the game is Josh Weigel in the center. Reese Brown, a transfer from Schoolcraft. His older brother Griffin plays on the team, is battling some injuries coming back into the season, but phenomenal player as well. Little heavy touch off the knee from Tom DeVries, and Hope will look to retreat, keep the ball in their end zone as Rose Hulman tries to build out from the back. A great start to this game, 0-0 with 28 minutes left. Hope has had the better of the play and chances so far, but Rose Hulman dangerous on the counterattack, much like Hope was last night. Urban drives through a little bit of a heavy touch, but Hope has got to be careful as Rose Hulman comes out fast. Hope with the 1-0 win last night, which was built off of a counterattack by Tom DeVries, who slotted the ball to Ethan Jansen for the in a 1-0 game against the number 3 ranked but also national champion. And Ethan Jansen is in behind, gonna get a left-footed shot. Wow. And Hope's 3 best chances have come from long slotted balls at Rose Hulman's right back. And Peter Borger, the sophomore from Rockville, Maryland, just mistouched that ball, but then ended up getting it over the line for another Hope corner kick. Hope in the first 18 minutes now will have 5 or 6 corner kicks at this point, and they're going to want to finish early to get on the board. Biederstedt has been great keeping Hope out of the net. Nice little touch, slide tackle from Wimmer, puts it back into Pauly. Brownie gets to the end line, and Hope will earn another corner kick at this point. See if they play a long corner in. We have our first subs of the game. Ole Olsen and Reese Brown will come off as Michael Dietz, the freshman.
Number 24, Matthew Davidson. Also number 27, Michael Dietz.
Yeah, Michael Dietz is the freshman from Eaton Rapids who will come into the game, and Matthew Davidson, the junior from Grand Ledge, Michigan. Mario with a great ball to the back stick. Tom DeVries keeps it in. Jake Lyon. I'm not sure what that call was there. It looks like a little bit of a foul in the box. A little too much, but dangerous again from Hope College Flying Dutchman. Biederstedt looks to play the long goal kick. Rose Hulman with a great settle and ball to the corner for Urban, who's going to look to play this in, but Cole Pauly with a great touch looks to possess and build up the field. DeVries and Jansen again with that combination. Brings it across to Davidson, who's going to look to Jake Lyon. Great little switch of possession. One of the things that Hope has been good at for years is not just playing vertically up and down, but also horizontally. A little too much from a little wrap on his knee. Again, some of these players have logged heavy minutes, this being their 3rd game in 5 days, and we'll see how that plays and factors in. Hope has been on the front foot so far. Weigel with the little chip into Mario. What a play. Rose Hulman's Connor Patton from Loveland, Ohio. Oh, Weigel, yes, and DeVries! Weigel with a beautiful settle. DeVries brings it down, turns on it, and rifles it in to the corner. Looks like they're putting, and he's pulling out the nice celly. I know they've been working on their celebrations. It's one of the things that they've said at practice, and DeVries has earned it.
Number 9, Thomas DeVries.
That is a tough angle and turn to keep that ball down, but DeVries does phenomenally with that. Weigel with the assist, bringing the ball down, finding DeVries, who turns on it and just hits it. It had to be good to beat goalkeeper John Biederstedt, who's been all over the place in this first half, but Thomas DeVries was up to the task. Hope has come out with a whole different level of pace. If you turned into them earlier in the season, they were playing well, one of the best defensive teams in the country, and been working very hard at building their offense, being creative, missing some attackers in Seth Walters and AJ, transfer from Western Michigan. And yet, in the last 3 to 4 games, Hope has really come off strong. Started in the Cornerstone game in the 4-2 victory over Cornerstone, and then playing a man down for half of the first half, first 7 minutes of the second half, and then in a 10-10 game, Hope came out and scored 3 in the second half, which just has gained confidence and creativity in their movement off the ball. The offensive efficiency has been a lot better. There's been a sense of urgency up top that I haven't seen in a while from Hope College. Been around the program for a while, and it's fun to watch their solid defense turn into attacking confidence. Matt Davidson wins the ball, rifles it into the stands. There's some incredible fan goalkeeping that just happened, saving some drinks and faces. Owen Trutt chases down Cole Pauley, and that's going to run over the end line. The captain, Cole Pauley, if you haven't been watching this season, you've been missing some of the best center back play. Hope has been known for a lot of years for some great center backs, and Cole Pauley is just another in a long line. Transfer from North Park, first team all-conference player last year, all-region player, has just been phenomenal. Wimmer with a turn. Oh my gosh, ball on a string. The magician plays the ball through. Weigel, nice to hold up and not let Biederstedt come up with a knock there. Connor Patton on the ball. Finds the number 6, Kai Moore from Pendleton, Indiana. Plays it wide to Jacob D'Arienzo, the senior from Frankfort, Illinois. Plays a long ball over the top. Dangerous. Colton Baker gets his head on it. Colton Baker, the senior from Byron Center, Michigan. Played some big minutes so far this year in that 3 center back system. Hope plays kind of 3 center backs with the 2 wing backs, and maybe even 4 in the center mid and 1 up top. Been trying to find that combination that works the best, but Wimmer and Davidson kind of in those dual 6 positions has just been great. Davidson has been starting and playing 90 minutes after not playing last season. It's been great to have him back on the field with his creativity and defense. Ethan Jansen forces another corner kick for the Flying Dutchman, as Peter Borger, the sophomore for Rockville, Maryland, can do nothing except play that over the line. 20 minutes left here in the first half. From Van Andel Soccer Stadium, the Hope College Flying Dutchman taking on the Rose Hulman Institute of Technology. Up 1-0 at this point from a screamer of a goal from Tom DeVries, who plays it back into the middle. Ethan Jansen with a challenge. Mario takes it off his left foot, takes a funky curve as Jake Lyon runs it down, earns it back, and Wimmer will look to maintain possession. Colton Baker will play it across to Matt Davidson. Drives down through the center of the midfield. I've liked over the last couple games, Hope has maintained possession, but has looked to drive the ball forward, not just with the long ball, but attacking on the dribble with pace, not turning negative, and that has been a really good thing, as Hope has always been a great passing team, a great possession team, especially in the last 6-7 years. But the goal scoring hasn't always come, and I think the driving and attacking, putting pressure on the defender has created a lot more goal scoring opportunities, and just allowing Hope to get up 1-0 in games, 2-0 in games, and change the game flow. Early turnover from Rose Hulman. They're going to want that one back against a team, Hope College, that is just gaining in confidence as time goes on. Jake Bland plays the ball over. Tom DeVries up for the win, and that's going to come back out for a Hope throw, and Lyon will be content to jog down the field slowly and slow up this game. The senior from Marshall, Michigan, with his long hair and beard, is what Jake Lyon is known for. Jake played semi-professionally this summer for Tulip City, the local club here in Holland. Coming out to some Tulip City games if you're in the area. This past 2 seasons they played at Holland High, and just a fun family environment in the summer. Cole Pauley with the long throw. Oh, the flick from Chenlo. Dangerous play as that ball came across the 6-yard box and again was cleared. I'm going to need these stats at halftime, but that may be 8th or 9th corner kick of the half for the Flying Dutchman at this point, who are putting a lot more pressure on Rose Hulman than they did last year in their 1-1 tie. Ball to the back stick. DeVries misses. Ethan Janet. Last night, University of Chicago had 12 corner kicks to Hope's 0, and Hope is looking to match that in the first half of tonight's game. A beautiful night here at Holland, Michigan at the Van Andel Soccer Stadium. We've got a good full crowd in attendance watching the game, eager to cheer on the team. Mario plays it back into the mix, and we'll chase that down. Play it back to Wimmer, who will turn on it back to Hesselbein. Hesselbein, as you notice, as if you've watched games this season, wearing a new kit this season. Oh, nice little turn from Dietz, but he's dispossessed from Urban. Phenomenal 5th-year player from Rose Hulman, and they'll look to possess and build out. Still only a 1-0 game, and as we know in soccer, anything can happen, even though Hope has maintained possession and had Rose Hulman Institute and Technology on their heels for most of this game. It is not over by any means. Nice little combination play through the middle as Rose Hulman has had some creativity. Urban drives through, gets on his left foot, just does not get around on the ball fully. He's going to want that one back, as that was Rose Hulman's best spell in a while, and Coach Hellawell will bring in 5 new players, a lot of attackers onto the field.
Number 13, Jimmy Hall. Number 12, Chase Petula. Number 28, Dean Monroe. And number 32.
It looks like Coach Hellawell's strategy is get a whole new group up top to run at the Flying Dutchman. Hope has also brought in an Evan Sandez, a freshman from Utah, actually, here to play. Heard great things about Sanders and watched him in some games so far this year. Hope has actually made a couple of subs, which has 4 freshmen on the field: Michael Dietz, Josh Weigel, Caden Chenlow, and Evan Sanders right now, along with their juniors and seniors. Weigel puts the pressure on. I'll get, it's me by myself tonight, but it looks like we'll get caught up on some of the subs for Rose Hulman. We have a number 11, Tatenda Mafa, the senior from Ontario, Canada. Weigel drives through, nice little cross to the back post, taking on 5 defenders himself. Couldn't get around on that ball completely. And number 12, a new sub, Chase Kedzier, the freshman from Wheaton, Illinois. My neck of the woods. I'm from Naperville, Illinois. And the Wheaton-Warrenville South player playing for Rose Hulman into the game for the first time, running up that right sideline. Number 13, Jimmy Hall, is a junior from West Des Moines who just received the ball. Iowa plays the ball back as Rose Hulman has gotten a little bit more possession and moved higher up the field at this point with 12:50 left in this half in a 1-0 game. Rose Hulman's had a little creativity with this group of subs. 28, Dean Monroe, is also a freshman from Mason, Ohio, Mason High School. He's into the game for the first time. Urban stays out on the field, the 5th-year senior on the right. And then number 32, Oliver Fila from New Rochelle, New York, the freshman out onto the field. So looks like Coach Hellewell is getting some of his young guys in to see what they can do in a game like this, in a tough environment, at one of the better Division III stadiums to play in the country. Beautiful facility that we have here at Hope College. Hope College's athletic facilities are second to none in Division III. I know I'm biased, but a great place to play soccer, and we attract a lot of colleges wanting to come to play in a place like this and in this environment with the attendance records that we have, and can rival sometimes even Division I and Division II schools. Rose Hulman on the offensive. Cole Pauly steps in, avoids the foul. Sanders with a great little play. Foul earned. Cole Pauly takes the free kick. Mario Davidson checks in behind that defender. Almost loses the ball. Pauly with a great little center back step through. Sanders on the ball. Little mispossession. Hesselbein is out of the box. Little nervy in the back there for the Hope College Flying Dutchman, but Chenlow brings it down and rifles the ball out of bounds with his left foot. Hope will bring in 2 freshmen off the bench. They're waiting to come in. We have Micah Weiland, freshman from Bristol, Indiana, and Josh Reyes, the freshman from Rochester Hills, Michigan, awaiting coming into this game. Chenlow, who had a great game last night, looks to play some 1v1 defense. Jansen and Sanders will stand up Urban. Chenlow with the miss. Clear. Sanders trying to find DeVries, but Hulman has playing a little bit better offensively, trying to create some chances, but now Hope looks to get out on the run. We have 3v4. DeVries plays Weigel out on the right, who's playing a little bit higher on the right at this point. Finds Mario with the overlap. Ball is going to drop in behind to Dietz, who plays a little high. floating ball, which is cleared. Great ball from Sanders to Jansen off the post. It's still in. That's no foul. Oh, Dietz is going to get a yellow card for what looked like almost like a basketball block on the throw-in. I think he thought the ref was going to call a foul on that play, and one of the more unique yellow cards you'll see in a soccer game. But Jansen has been dangerous up top all game. A nice little pass from Sanders into him, and he hits. Hard to believe that ball stayed in bounds off that side post, but it did. Rose Hulman plays the ball into the box off of Jacob D'Arienzo's cross. Nice little spell possession. Oliver Fila plays it, and they're going to play wide for Urban, who's been really dangerous all game. One of their better players. Two more Hope subs looking to come into the game. Ben Bush and Grant Hasnerick from Spring Lake and Grand Rapids Christian, respectively. Chenlo battling Rose Hulman into the 18. Still only senior from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Nearly puts it in as Dan Hesselbein was beat on that back post. We've got 4 new subs coming in for Weigel, DeVries, Mario, and Davidson, who are going to look to get some rest after a tough game last night. I also want to welcome my good friend Paulo Ocala, who's joining us for the broadcast to give me a little relief after calling the last 40 minutes by myself. But welcome, Paulo. If you are just joining us, this is your first game. Paulo has been joining us all season for a segment we call Paulo's Ponderings. The former player, recently retired, now manager. Paulo, welcome. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, the guys are playing great. But Rose Hulman has been difficult. You can tell Hope hasn't been as sharp defensively as we were last night. Might be due to maybe some fatigue, some guys being a little tired. But offensively, we've looked very dangerous, which has been a pretty nice surprise, because we did struggle in the first couple games to create, but it looks like the forwards are kind of getting into the rhythm, especially Thomas DeVries.
Yeah, you know, what a finish by Tom DeVries on that play. That's a hard shot I was talking about earlier, to kind of get on. You're turning with your back to goal, and to strike all the way around to the far post, to keep that low. That's a hard one to keep low. What would you say about that, Paulo?
Yeah, I would say that's a really big just striker tendency. You kind of just have to have that in your bag, kind of, in a sense. I mean, you see strikers like Lewandowski and a lot of quality. Oh,
dangerous play. And there's been a couple of those in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Sorry to cut you off, Paulo, but
yeah, no, guys just are starting to look a little sloppy in the first half.
I know.
Could be just because of the energy that was output last night in the U Chicago game. Let's see if we can maybe get some of those subs in and see if we can get some guys a breather. I know a couple guys are hurting a little bit, so I think trying to get those subs in, and hopefully the level doesn't drop when they come in. But
great win for Sanders, who ball's played back into the box. The subs for Rose Hulman, some of these freshmen, have given them some good minutes, and Hope's looked a little nervy in the back. Daniel got caught off of his line once and almost got chipped. Oh, Ethan Jansen has just been phenomenal in this game. But Hope has just looked a little nervous in the back in this last 20 minutes, making a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes. And Urban has been just phenomenal for them. Their number 7, a fifth-year senior, Paulo. What would you say about him so far this half?
Yeah, I remember him from last year when we played them at Rose Hulman. He's just a rapid winger. He was the one that scored for them last year in the 1-1 tie, and I know he gave us a ton of fits last year. And I know we put Oli on his side just because we trust Ole's pace, and Ole's been able to keep up with him. But it seems like since Dietz has come in with maybe a little bit less experience, Dietz can still keep up maybe pace-wise, but maybe not as much experience-wise. So we're starting to see him attack a bit more now that Ole's out of the field. Hopefully Dietz can kind of read him a little bit better to end this half. But he's been playing fantastic. He's a great player. Isn't necessarily focused on, not necessarily a technically great player, but when it comes to speed and just strength, he's been playing great.
Ball. Grant Hasternick is dispossessed on that play after just a worm burner of a ball from Ethan Jansen. Great little recovery run by Reyes, who plays through the foul. Ref lets it play on with advantage, but not a great ball at the end of that beautiful play.
Yeah, but that's what you like to see out of the subs,
right.
Especially a freshman, someone that necessarily the quality might not be all the time just because they don't have the college experience, but at least the work ethic you could tell out of Reyes, worked back to win the ball, and still showed quality in his dribbling skills.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have sometimes it's not necessarily just about talent, because one of the things that Hope College we've talked about all year on the broadcast, Paul Willard and Lance and I, is that Hope has brought in a lot of talent this year, 14 new players. And talent is one thing, but then when you have a fifth-year first-team all-conference player playing against some freshmen, that collegiate experience is something you just can't make up for, Paulo. I mean, that's game minutes, that's soccer intelligence, that's savvy, just being in those big moments. And I think that sometimes you can see that happening, and I think the biggest thing that you want to see out of your freshmen is that consistency builds on that talent.
Yeah, and I mean, Matt's great at fitting into that system. He's a player that really fits into Rose Hulman's type of play style, which is kind of more counterattack. Let's win the ball back and run at them. So I'm on the field right now because we're trying to give some more of our guys some rest due to that long game last night. And I think the freshmen are holding their own and they're playing well. But you can tell at times that they might not have as much experience as someone who's been doing it for 5 years.
For sure. Dietz looks to play that ball across to Ethan Jansen, who drives down the middle, plays that ball through. It gets through to Reyes. It gets to the end line. Nice little touch, rollover, plays it across the middle, and it is cleared.
Yeah, and I think Reyes did a great job of getting it in a difficult area there. I would have liked to see Rand do a bit of a better job kind of positioning himself in that box.
Yeah.
I think that was a ball that he could have got to if he just was a little bit more preemptive of getting in that position. But it was a great play by Hope College, and I know Grant will be looking at that and hopefully trying to get in a better position moving forward.
That was a phenomenal play. It's obvious that Coach Blahnik has been talking to the guys about getting in line, as you've seen it from a lot of our players over the last few games, Paulo, trying to find that space behind the defender and then slot that ball across to create better opportunities than those 50-50 crosses sometimes. Yeah,
and I mean, Oli and Mario are excellent at doing that, and it looks like Reyes is learning a little bit from them, and he's doing great going at people. I mean, that's what you want to see. You don't want to just see a stagnant winger who's just kind of dancing on the ball. You want someone that's driving at people, and Reyes is doing a great job at that right now.
Well, Paulo, will you join us at the beginning of the second half? I'd love to have you if you're able. But a great first half from the Hope College Flying Dutchman, up 1-0. We'll see you in a minute as you stay around, because there's a lot of soccer left to go.
Yes, sir.
Very special thanks to the Polar Patrol and the Holland Police Department. They are here with free ice cream. Free ice cream. Make sure to head over to the food truck near the entryway to pick up your free ice cream.
I loved school. I've always loved school, and I was very driven in high school too, but for some reason I just never actually thought I could do it, because I couldn't see it. It didn't feel tangible. And when I was able to get a scholarship, I was like, I'm actually going to college. I can do this. People believe in me. I understood that my education could completely change my life, that it opens so many doors. And I think that some students just go to college as the next stepping stone in their life. They don't think about what does this really mean and how can this change my life. And I understood that because neither of my parents had that opportunity to get a degree. I graduated from Hope College in 2019 with a biochemistry and molecular biology degree with a Spanish minor. One big part of my personal calling into medicine is to, one, show other students that look like me, so students of color, women, that you can do this too. And that if there is an obstacle, let's talk about it and let's surpass that obstacle, because you can surpass that obstacle. I feel like my family and I have done a lot for me to get here, but I know it is doable with support. One big moment that happened recently that's super exciting and a part of your entrance into medical school is the white coat ceremony. It was monumental to me and my family. It was a symbol of how hard work does pay off. For me, as a first-generation college student, receiving my scholarship opened up that door for education that I didn't believe in high school I even deserved. Now being an adult and going through college and now being in med school, I can see that investment of that scholarship in my life truly allowed me to not only pursue this, but also gain confidence in myself that I do deserve to be present in a higher education realm, even though not many people look like me when I walk in the door. I've been able to help my younger sibling and then also extended family apply to college and apply to scholarships now that I've gone through it. So I do think being that first person to go through it is really scary, but once you are able to gain those experiences, you can help others and uplift those around you. If I were to talk to the donor who helped make my scholarship possible, I would say thank you. Your support makes education accessible, and that accessibility not only changes lives of individuals, but transforms their community.
There are over 5, but along the shores of Lake Michigan, there is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historical figure, not a state, city, or physical landmark. It is named after an ideal, a virtue, a way of life. Its name is hope. It is so easy to get lost in what this world lacks, to become discouraged by its needs, gaps, and flaws. Can we see beyond the uncertainty and brokenness? At Hope College, we do. Not by ignoring the world as it is, but by learning and living with the belief that this is not the world as it should be, by driving to understand, to unlock clarity, to amplify truth, by leading with inspired compassion, by embodying a vision that illuminates greater opportunity for all, by serving with anchored conviction, using our collective gifts to offer this world what it needs most. Hope. Not simply hope as a desire, but hope as a way of being. Because hope has changed the way we see the world. And hope drives us to change the way the world is. Because hope shapes our calling. Because hope inspires our dreams. Because hope empowers our talents. Because hope frees us to try. Because hope transforms what we believe, transforms how we act, transforms who we are. At Hope College, we know this life-altering grace is a gift we have all been given, and it is the greatest gift we can offer the world. Hope transforms.
Welcome back to Van Andel Soccer Stadium on this beautiful Saturday night, nearing 6:05 p.m. The Hope College Flying Dutchman taking on the Rose Hulman Institute of Technology Fighting Engineers. It's the Flying Dutchman versus the Fighting Engineers, Paolo, and that's quite a matchup.
Yeah. When we went to their school last year, it was really interesting kind of seeing their campus and how engineer focused they are, which is really cool.
It's an incredible school, as evidenced by their roster. They're getting students from all over the country and even into Canada that will come. We have Pearl City, Hawaii, New York, California, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana. Players from all over the country coming to study at this incredible institution for engineering. Hope College with the 1-0 lead. Let's go over some of the stats from the first half. Paulo Alcala, Hope holds a 9-2 advantage in corner kicks. And they also hold a 8-2 advantage on shots and goal. The possession is actually 54% for Rose Hulman to Hope's 46%. Would you have been able to guess that, Paulo, based on the first half?
Not necessarily. I think it's been pretty. I feel like we've had the more meaningful possession at times, but we also aren't just keeping it to keep it, which is nice to see. We're whipping balls in. We're playing the forwards, so you kind of expect to lose the ball every once in a while.
Great little combination play. Mario to Weigel into Wimmer, who plays a quick ball into Brown, who takes a shot with his left foot. Reese Brown starting the second half with Tom DeVries up top. Similar lineup, actually the same lineup to start the second half that started the first half. Hope got on the front foot early in this game, creating all sorts of pressure on the attack on Rose Hulman. Paulo, what will Hope be looking to do as they start the half to come off on the front foot, and what will Rose Hulman look to do to respond down 0-1 to start the second half? Yeah,
so for Hope, I would say right now we're up, so let's not necessarily have to force everything, but we do want to get another one. So just try and possess when we do get the ball and find those gaps to get a second one, but also defensively, like fully lock in and don't make as many silly mistakes as we did in the first half, I think is what Hope's going to look to do in this half. And then for Rose Hulman, they've been doing a great job on the counterattack, so I think they're looking to do what we did yesterday against U Chicago, and every single time they win the ball in the defensive half is how quick can we counterattack and get in their attacking half, so we're Hope's out of position, I think is the goal for Rose Hulman.
Daniel Hesselbein with the keep call to call off his defenders, and then drops to the ground. He actually didn't get hit. He was just saying, I've got the ball, it's protected, I'm going to lay on the ground for a second. Rose Hulman with the early corner kick. Caleb Urban, the fifth-year senior captain armband, putting all sorts of pressure on Hope's defense, and so Hope cannot just cling to this 1-0 lead, because it is obvious that Rose Hulman is gaining confidence as the game has gone on, Paulo, and Hope had many early chances. Ethan Jansen off the post in the first half. Some incredible saves from Bieterstedt. And yet Hope still just has a 1-0 lead. A great long ball. Looks like some of Hope's through balls in the first half. Hope had 3 distinct opportunities on that diagonal ball trying to get in the back. And it looks like we have an early injury here, where I don't know if that's an injury or a cramp. Paulo, I'm not sure.
It looks like a cramp, but we're hoping it's nothing worse. interesting that Mario called it beforehand, because it seemed like he was running Mario down quite normally, but
Yeah.
it seems like Mario might have heard something and
Yeah.
called it out. We'll see if Rose Hulman throws the ball back to our center back here, or what the move is from here, but
Yeah.
definitely an interesting play.
Tatenda Maffa looked like he was in behind the defense, the senior from Canada, but he is going to walk off the sideline, and Rose Hulman will get an early sub here in the second half. He gave some great minutes for Rose Hulman in the first half, and their starter, 29, Owen Trout, the senior from Fairview Heights, Belleville East High School, and the senior will come back in the game. Yeah, Maffa gave such good minutes, the coach rewarded him and said, hey, I want you to start the second half. But yeah, Hope looks to build out of the back and create that same pressure. They kind of settled into a lull, as we have seen all season, starting halves very, very well, and then kind of settling in and maybe letting some teams get back in the game. And Rose Hulman is too good of a team with only 2 losses last season to give confidence to. As you can see, their quality on the ball is great, and they're going to be dangerous all game.
Yeah, and for Hope here, they're still in the power seat right now, and they can kind of do what they need to secure the victory of this game. So just making sure they're not making any silly mistakes in that final third for them, and not getting caught out of position on the counterattacks, I think is going to be important for Hope. I know guys are tired right now, so it might be a little bit to turn on that next gear. So just being smart for Hope and seeing how they can maybe ride this game out might be the tactic moving forward.
Cole Pauley getting caught a little bit high. Actually a good foul from Ethan Jansen as Cole was caught up on that play, and Rose Hulman will look to play a quick kick. No, they're going to set in back. But, you know, interesting, if you're just tuning in to us or did not watch the game last night, Hope is coming off a 1-0 victory against the reigning national champions, University of Chicago, here at Van Andel Soccer Stadium. Hope was out-possessed but not out-strategized, Paolo, in any way, as Hope played in a low block, created one counterattack, and came away with a 1-0 win, one of the better wins in Hope's program history last night. And Hope comes in with a lot of confidence, but also some tired legs in the third game in 5 days, Paolo.
Yeah, Olivet made us work more than we might have thought of before the game, kind of going down with that red card, and we had to make up for being down a man. So we definitely put in some work in that game and kind of had a quick turnaround for UChicago, and that game was a grind for anybody that tuned in yesterday. And now they're kind of just okay with just keeping the ball and not forcing anything. We would love to get that second goal, but I think right now having a win in the win column is a little bit more important for Hope. And hopefully we can also see some guys that didn't get maybe as many minutes yesterday play a bit of a more of a role today. Thomas obviously played a lot yesterday. Ethan played a lot. Josh Weigel, Matt Wimmer, all played high minutes yesterday, so how can we maybe give them a rest so we can go into next week with some more fresh legs?
Yeah, Rose Hulman with a good little spell of possession. Hope has not been able to build out of the back in these first 8 minutes of the second half, as Holman's center back combo of Salik Ahmad and Jacob Pohl will just look to play a higher line and push Hulman up the field and get some more possession in the front third. You know, Paolo, that's an interesting deal you talk about, where Hope is in kind of in the driver's seat, and yet at the same time, as we've seen against a team like Elmhurst, teams like even Cornerstone, Hope has given away goals, set pieces, corner kicks, PKs, And so it feels like dangerous things can happen when you're hanging on to a lead and you don't play with that same level of aggression and energy. And it kind of feels like that right now. It's a little bit of a lull in this game, and you want to see that same level of anticipation and aggression that you did at the beginning of this game or in University of Chicago or in the Ohio Wesleyan game. And it seems like there's a little bit of a lull here, and so they're going to have to play through this fatigue.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that would be ideal, is kind of wanting to kind of play the same way that we've been playing, and how can we continue to attack and be aggressive. But at the end of the day, I think maybe holding on to that lead and then just picking and choosing when you use those spurts. Like right here on the counterattack, trying to use that quick spurt, that energy that you have, because you can't use it the whole entire game like you were in the first half. Might be what Hope's looking to do. Just because we did play not necessarily super deep yesterday, and a lot of those guys, Cole Pauley played 90 minutes, Colton Baker 90 minutes, Jake Lyon 90 minutes. And a lot of the midfielders also just played a lot of high minutes. So how can we give them a break and understand that they're not fully at 100%, but also realize, hey, we do need to get another goal. The best defense is offense. So how can we take advantage of when we do get the ball? Maybe that's when we see those spurts. That's when we see that energy from our guys. And I bet coach is telling them to do that, but sometimes what coach wants isn't exactly what the players can do in the moment. So, but they're still looking to get forward. It's not necessarily yesterday where we were holding on by a thread and just booting the ball. But I think Rose Hulman also really wants it, and they're using that energy. And you also have to acknowledge the effort that the other team is putting in as well.
Yeah, Rose Hulman came out in the second half wanting to tie up the game. And you can see the higher level of energy and anticipation. Great tackle from Wimmer. That's the type of energy that'll get you going. DeVries will drive at the defender, the left back from Rockville, Maryland, who'll give it out. That is what we're looking for. A little bit of a better burst there. Started off by Wimmer's tackle, and Hope, as it did in the first half, Paulo attacking Peter Borger on the left back position and earning a corner kick.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Thomas there could have easily just turned around and just played it back to an outside back or a center back, but he decided.
Most beautiful ball played down to the center. DeVries kind of knocks that at Ole Olsen, plays it wide, and Rose Hulman will be content to come away with a throw-in after that melee in the box there. Jake Lyon with the throw-in. Hope with a little better in this last 3 or 4 minutes. Looked like Wimmer was a bit tired. The tackle was his last play for a little bit as Matt Davidson comes in. Ole Olsen drives to the defense, tries a little chip to Mario and doesn't get through. Jansen with the early shot and doesn't get fully a hold of it, Paulo.
Yeah, and I mean, the guys are looking and they're putting in that effort to try and expand the lead, but I think tired legs a little bit there from Ethan Jansen and kind of getting over it too much. But the team is doing well, kind of picking and choosing when they're deciding to use that energy and not necessarily just sprinting after things when they don't have to.
Yeah, interesting thing to play 3 games in 5 days in the early preseason. Hope with a deep roster, but one of those games coming against University of Chicago, and Coach Blahnik elected on Friday to just play 14 players in that game, as their defensive shape was one of the biggest factors in that game. Jake Lyon tries to play the ball over the top to Ethan Jansen, and Tom DeVries will run that down, and the center back Jacob Pohl will put it out for a throw. Cole Pauley will take a long, slow jog for the long throw there.
Yeah, and we'll see what they're looking to do here, because normally who they're targeting on these is Caden, who is not in the game at the moment. So maybe trying to find Ethan this time.
Ethan's head looks to find the flick. It's knocked off of Urban for a corner kick, and Hope will enjoy the 11th or 12th corner of the game at this point. Josh Weigel, the freshman from Naperville Central, will step onto the ball. This has been Davidson or Mario's kicks in the past, but I think Davidson is content to sit at that 6th position and just keep it in. And Weigel playing a beautiful ball to the back post. Ethan Jansen with a brilliant header and a great save from Biederstedt, and pulls it in.
Yeah, Ethan did exactly what you're trying to do. Fundamentals, just put it right back where it was coming from. Just great.
Of a great program at Naperville Central High School. I should know. I played there. Paulo, any chance I can talk about Naperville Central Redhawks, I will.
Yes, you do.
I coached there, and it's fun to have some Redhawk. Driving through the defense and creating havoc on that side.
100%. And again, like we talked about for Josh Ray's his opportunity in the first half, we would have liked maybe to see one of those forwards on the first post inside the 6, but they were a little delayed to get there. So hopefully we can continue to create those chances, but the forwards can kind of anticipate a little bit and get in those positions a little sooner.
A concerning sight for the Hope College Flying Dutchman is Ashley, or our trainer is out to look at Tom DeVries, who's been an early season phenom for the Flying Dutchman, earning corner kicks, getting assists, scoring the goal in the first half, and he's down. It looks like he just got a little knock to the ankle. We hope that it's not too serious. Hope is going to get some subs into this game as they're looking to play through that fatigue that you can obviously see some more heavy legs, some more winded players, Paulo. So Hope will get Griffin Brown into the game. His brother Reese has had a phenomenal early season. Conrad Bush, which is Ben Bush's younger brother, also into the game, had a great spell last week in a game against Cornerstone. Evan Sandez, the freshman from Utah. Weigel will move outside to the right, and we have Michael Dietz playing on this left side wing-back position.
Yeah, and I know Griffin Brown was feeling a little sick over the weekend, so it's nice to see him out on the field, hopefully feeling better. He's one of those guys that got a lot of minutes last year who hasn't really been able to see the field so much this year because of injuries, but hopefully we can see a lot more of him going forward.
Griffin, a phenomenal player, played in the center mid for a few years here. Incredible guy as well. It'll be great for the culture, for Hope to have him back. Sandez with the foul. The 5th-year senior will be on the ball and look to play in the box. It feels like a 3-0 game right now, Paulo, but it's 1-0, and any play can cause a tie in this game, especially on these set pieces. Ball into the back post. Hesselbein goes up for the ball. Wow.
And I'm surprised he didn't call that earlier.
A late whistle.
You are not able to touch the goalie inside of his 6-yard box, so I feel like that should have been a call right away, but it looks like he might have called offsides there first.
Davidson plays the ball back to Hesselbein, who'll look for the long, wide kick up to Mario, who'll head it down the line to Weigel, who plays it up to Conrad, who's on, and it's blocked at the near post. A beautiful read by Mario to head that ball down the line to Weigel, Paulo.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such an advantage to have Dan back there. He's obviously been elite so far this season at making saves and coming out, but something you don't see as often is how good he is with his feet. He likes to joke that he's the best forward on the team, which is definitely not true, but it's so nice to have someone that's that good with his feet in the back who can create a chance like that because he found Mario so quickly.
The entire Hope team holding up their hands for a handball as Rose Hulman drives on the counterattack, taking on Jake Lyon and Colton Baker, plays the ball through, cuts it back off Lyon's head, and Hesselbein will grab that easily. But that was a dangerous counterattack,
Yep.
Paulo.
Yep.
Cole Pauly tried to catch up, got tangled up and fell. But I think Hope, about 5 or 6 players did the universal handball sign where they grabbed
Yeah.
their arms.
Yeah, it looked
And-
like Mario turned around and was complaining about it for a second, and it almost looked like Cole Pauly did an intentional foul there out of frustration. You don't like to see that, though. Chances being created that well for the other team on counterattacks is very dangerous for Hope, so hopefully
Yep.
they don't get put in positions like that moving forward.
Dean Monroe and Owen Trutt attacking up top. Colton Baker lets that run out of bounds as Connor Patton, the senior midfielder from Loveland, Ohio, was chasing that down. And Rose Hulman looks dangerous so far on the counterattacks. And Hope is obviously playing through some fatigue, playing with a different level of energy tonight than last night. Good thing they got that early 1 goal in the first half on a Tom DeVries goal. Off the assist from Josh Weigel. Patton drives the line, keeps it in bounds. Pauly is battling in the corner with Patton, and the ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in.
Yeah, we haven't seen as much presence off the bench as you would have thought you might have today. That might just be because we're only up 1-0, but I mean, Conrad right away on his first play already making a difference. So, and Evan, who hasn't seen the field too much this season, has been playing a big role today, and he's actually been doing a fantastic job at the center defensive mid.
Yeah, Evan Sandez, the freshman from Utah, coming in and playing good. A highly skilled player that you'll look to see a lot of over the next few years here at Hope, as we have some seniors in that CDM position that will need to be replaced. Dietz with the pace we talked about, chasing down Urban, winning the ball back, playing it through to Bush. Ref calls advantage. Bush keeps it in. We'll look to see if that's a yellow card later, as Dietz held his arms in the air, but
It's a fantastic
beautiful ball just carries out over the line.
Looks like Mario just didn't read it on time, but you like to see players switch the ball like that. It's tough for defenses to read, and that's kind of how the outside backs get in behind. So you like to see Matt Davidson looking for it at least.
Great to have Matt Davidson back on the pitch this season. He's been phenomenal, whether he's played out at that wingback position or he's played in the 6. He has just been a catalyst, both defensively as well as keeps the ball with possession so well for the Flying Dutchman. With him and Wimmer at the game, it's hard for other teams to really get good possession high up the field, as they dispossess so often, get the ball, and then just are calmly playing it like that up to Dietz, who gets in behind. Oh.
Yeah,
Nice
I mean, when you look at players like, or think of players like Matt Davidson and Matt Wimmer, you just think of the word composure and how confident they feel on the ball. There's not many times where they're rushing plays or losing the ball easily. They just do such a good job at keeping the ball, and their touches are just so sound.
Dietz has given some good minutes here in the second half. Freshman plays it back to Davidson. Urban chases down Jake Lyon. A nervous little ball, and Hesselbein gobbles it up. That's one of the ways that you see Hesselbein's skill on the ball, composed in that little position. But again, Paulo, I've got to say it's 1-0, and Hope is kind of at this point creating good offense and surviving, but
That's an interesting
that is
call.
an interesting offside call. I think in the scope of the play, the defenders stopped because Weigel was offsides there, but Conrad was actually the one making the run through, but they called it because I think he distracted the defenders, and so you'll give the AR the benefit of the doubt on that play.
100%, and I think Hope was doing a great job there, once again, for Matt Davidson, switching the ball and kind of putting the defense in tough situations. That's kind of how you're able to split lines when the defense doesn't really know exactly who they should be covering. So hopefully that's kind of what they get when they have Matt Davidson on the field. He has a different skill set of being able to ping those balls across the field.
Yeah. Oliver Fila, number 32, directing the play here. Sandez dispossesses, and Patton runs it down with Baker. Looks like it's going to go off Baker for a throw-in. The freshman, Oliver Fila from New Rochelle, New York, has given some great minutes in that CDM role for Rose Hulman, who made a number of switches at the end of that first half, and that brought some energy to their team, Paulo, as Hope has been fatigued, and maybe that's been their strategy, is to bring some pace and energy. Urban! Oh my gosh, that sat on a platter.
And there's dangerous plays like that Hope hates to see, kind of those defensive breakdowns, not getting out to him on time, and it wasn't necessarily the easiest finish, but something that he'll definitely want back.
Oh my gosh. He had one early in the first half. He's been dangerous all game. Scored the goal, as we said, last year in the 1-1 tie. Hope without its goal scorer from last year on the 1-1 tie, Seth Walters, who's out with an injury, nearing coming back at this point, Paulo, but if you're just joining us, there's 21 minutes left in a 1-0 game. You are not going to want to miss the end of this game, although Hope is playing fatigued after playing for the second night in a row and third game in 5 days. They hold a 1-0 lead over Rose Hulman Institute of Technology, but this game is far from over as Rose Hulman has gained in confidence as the game has gone along. Urban, a all-conference player from last year for Rose Hulman, driving continuously at the defense of Hope, which has played and logged a lot of minutes. Conrad Bush, the freshman from Spring Lake, putting some pressure on the center back, gets in, and Biederstedt needs to make a...
Sometimes if you play the ball a bit too short there, the forward can run onto it and tap it in. So the goalie did a great job coming out on time there. But that's kind of what you want to see from your bench players that are coming in and making an impact. Conrad chasing that ball down and winning the ball back for us. He's doing a fantastic job in really playing his role.
It's nice to see Conrad get some good minutes. A pacey forward from Spring Lake who getting in behind. He's in again. He's going to touch it by Biederstedt. And Biederstedt again with an... Oh, he's holding on to him. There is no call on that play.
And how that's not a PK is mind-blowing. The goalie had two arms around Conrad inside of the box, not letting him get up. So I don't understand what exactly the ref saw there, but he must have thought it wasn't enough to call a PK.
Wow, and I'd like to get a VAR replay, video assistant referee, on that call, and yet we don't have FIFA here with us. But Biederstedt wrapped two arms around Conrad. Conrad's going to want that one back, but at the same time, the ball dropped back into him, and he had two arms wrapped around Conrad inside the box. We will give the center the benefit of the doubt, even though Blahnik is at half line with the AR, who even is shaking his head a little bit.
Yeah, I would be infuriated. Honestly, I really don't understand what the ref was seeing. You just cannot hold players back from moving. swing like that, especially if they're chasing down a ball in a dangerous position. That, in my opinion, should have been a PK and red card. But we move on, and Conrad honestly should have put that ball away.
That's true.
Right away, so we shouldn't have been in that position. But if I am Blahnik, I am quite infuriated because that could have put the game away.
I definitely think Conrad Bush should be saying to himself, not that he's frustrated they got a grab, but rather that he wasn't able to slot that ball by Biederstedt, who's been great all game, outside of the one rocket finish from Tom DeVries into the far post in the first half, which has given Hope the 1-0 lead. Sandez has been a revelation there, a great future player in that CDM role. Oles looks to make a run, and Sandez plays it over the top, which will be gobbled up by Jacob DiRienzo.
Yeah, it's been great to see him. He hasn't really been able to see the field much, but I know he's been performing great in training, so it's really nice to be able to finally see him for a little bit more minutes than he's normally been getting. I think he's been kind of getting in for about 5 minutes a game, and he's really been impactful back there defensively and even going forward. He has a great foot, and he's been doing great at finding his teammates. Yeah,
about 7 minutes into this second half, Matt Wimmer, a staple in the CDM position if you followed Hope soccer for the last few years, made a slide tackle and got up slowly and said, I might not have much juice left for this game, and coach has brought Sandez into the game, and Ole Olsen passes the ball back to Davidson. Hulman Technologies pressure is higher up the pitch with Owen Trutt and Caleb Urban and Dean Monroe trying to dispossess the ball. Davidson plays a long ball over the top. It's won back by number 32. Oliver Fila looks to build through the offense to Patton. Back to Fila. A nice little freshman player there from New Rochelle, New York, has been really good. He didn't start the game, Paulo, but he's been pretty talented in that midfield. I think the coach is going to like him in weeks to come.
Yeah, they've been doing just overall as a whole midfield a great job at just not letting the Hope midfielders be as comfortable as they normally are and keep the ball as much as they normally do. So I think they can leave at least this game content knowing that they really worked that Hope midfield.
Nice to see Griffin Brown back in the game, number 8 position, playing high in this left side. Little has his, Dietz goes up for a header and comes down hard. They're going to stop this game as that looks like a very, very bad fall. I don't know if he just got the wind knocked out of him, but got his legs undercut. Number 27, Ashley, our wonderful training staff for Hope College Soccer will check in on him, and it looks like just a little knock and he's getting up. The crowd will give a big hand as that looked like a bad fall.
Yeah, it looks like number 7 got a little underneath him when he went up for that ball, but it didn't seem too intentional and it didn't seem like too much contact, so maybe that's why the ref didn't call it, but it was enough to kind of offset Michael Dietz on that jump where he kind of fell a little off.
Caleb Urban and Jake Lyon in the battle for the better facial hair on that side of the field. Jake Lyon rocking the kind of Old Testament, maybe Jesus type beard, and we have Caleb Urban, who is rocking kind of an 80s I teach middle school history mustache. And nice tackle by Peter Borger, who rescues Dietz, kind of driving in behind. Sandez comes in through the ball, and Rose Holman will bring that down.
Yeah, you see Ole kind of being content staying back there and making sure we don't get countered. Maybe in some other games you might see Ole really getting up in that attacking half when the ball's on the other side, just in case a cross goes a little long. But I think Hope is more concentrated in not getting countered at the end of this game.
Hope Hope looks to bring 3 subs into the game for the last 14 minutes to stay strong. Ref's going to let that play on even though it looked like a foul, and Rose Holman will drive through, plays a little diagonal ball. Colton Baker kind of shields off the number 29, Owen Trout, from running on to that ball. And Paulo, 14 minutes left. If you're just joining us, it's a 1-0 lead from a Thomas DeVries goal off the assist from Josh Weigel, turning on the ball from about 12 yards out from the right side of the pitch and hitting the far post. That's what gives Hope its 1-0 lead as they try to hold on for their second win in 2 nights. Ethan Jansen will come into the game for Josh Weigel, who gets a well-deserved rest. Josh Reyes comes in for Ole Olsen, Caden Shenlow for Colton Baker, and Michael Weiland, the freshman, will come in for Conrad Bush, who's going to want that play back as he got in behind the defense. Got to give a hand for all those guys coming off the field, gave some great minutes. But Paulo, we got 13 minutes left, and this is a 1-0 game. Not over in the least, as these two teams tied 1-1 last year.
Yeah, and I think Hope's just now concentrated on, it would be nice to score, but let's just not give up the ball, and let's just be smart. They are playing a bit more out of the back than they did yesterday, being a little bit more risky with it, but I think measured as well. It looks like Caden's back in the game.
Chenlow plays the ball out. Jake Lyon rescues that play up to Ethan Jansen, who will look to hold it up against 2 defenders. And Hope's technical ability and tight touch that they had last night, little heavier touch with those heavy legs that I'm seeing, Paulo, right now. Michael Weiland with the high kick. But yeah, tell me a little bit about that. You seeing a little bit heavy legs from Hope College.
Yeah, you can see they're a little tired, but we got guys that kind of are making up for it. I mean, it's so nice to have someone like Jake Lyon with that pace in the back to kind of make up for those mistakes where Paulie might normally cover that right away, but Jake kind of had his back there and was able to run onto it. And then you got players like Matt Davidson, who playing maybe on a little bit of a tweak, clearly looks a little tired, but he's so good at knowing his positioning, and he's so good technically that he doesn't necessarily have to play with physicality all the time.
Dangerous ball as Biederstedt plays it in, and Hesselbein gets one mitt onto it, knocks it down.
Yeah, once again, the ref, I just don't understand what he was seeing there. Clearly, again, inside the 6-yard box where you cannot touch the goalie, Dan ran into and was not able to grab the ball. So not sure what he is seeing out there at the moment, but it looks like he's kind of leaning on the let's let this play.
Cole Pauly makes another step up, was beaten by Trout right there, but Chenlow wins the ball back as has happened all season. When one of those center backs steps up, another one recovers. Jake Lyon just did it a couple seconds ago, and Chenlow right there.
Yeah, the right and left center backs are doing a great job this season so far. Really just covering for each other, especially when Cole's not able to get there. When it is most of the time, Cole is able to make those great plays like he did yesterday. But today, they've really had to rely on Jake making those plays, and Caden, and when Colton was in the game, Colton making those plays and just being smart with how they're tackling and how they're reading plays.
Rose Hulman Institute of Technology's Fighting Engineers getting a few more plays. Ethan Jansen comes in with a dangerous tackle on that play. The game has picked up in its physicality, and the ref is letting that play, perhaps saying, I'm not going to give this away too easily. Maybe a makeup call for missing the PK earlier in the half, but letting that one play.
Yeah, and I mean, at least he's been consistent with his calls. Maybe in another game that would have been called, but at least all the way around, it seems like he's really letting the guys play, and I think it's going to have to be a clear-cut foul for him to call it at the end of this game.
Yes. Peter Borger dispossessed Ole Olsen. The ball gets out to Urban, who plays a little chip ball over the top. Jake Lyon on the chase. Borger from that wingback position plays it back to Chase Kedzior, who's taking on two Hope defenders. Borger plays the ball in to Fila, who hits it from the same spot DeVries did, and it is blocked. That one looked like it was going in from our angle to the far post.
Yeah, it looked like Jake Lyon or Griffin Brown
Paulo
really made that effort to get over and block that shot. That definitely could have been very dangerous for the goalkeeper.
Nice little possession for Rose Hulman, who's picked up their intensity. The game has gotten a little more physical. The energy has jumped up. We have 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Hope playing with a little bit of fire and a 1-0 lead, kind of hanging on, but you could see this game going a number of ways here, Paulo. If Hope isn't careful, Rose Holman's on the front foot right now. This could get a tie, or Rose Hulman puts the pressure up so high that Hope gets in behind and gets that second goal.
Yeah, at least it seems like that let's let them play mentality from the ref is kind of helping Rose Hulman a bit here, just because they're trying to be so aggressive and so physical moving forward. So those calls have been able to benefit Rose Hulman a bit, just because they're really trying to make up that goal right now.
Assistant coach Corey talking to Tom DeVries, who it's nice to see is back in the game after that little ankle knock. Josh Weigel back in the game, and Ethan Jansen as well. Coach needed to get them a little bit of a spell, Paulo, so they could finish this game strong. Those subs brought in great minutes, as Hope is trying to buy minutes a bit for his players. Weigel is double teamed and hit, and that's a rough play. I'm unsure if that was a hit in the head or, yeah, he needs one here. That's a rough play. You can never take a head injury too seriously.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
and there's
blood.
Blood coming down his face right now. He's saying he's fine, and he's saying I want to stay in the game.
But he is not able to play with blood on his shirt. So looks like Reese Brown is coming in.
Yeah, Reese Brown will come in the game for Weigel, who's been great all season. His 13 jersey will need to get a good washing. He seems like he's okay. Smiling a little bit. Caden Chenlow will be delivering that jersey. I don't know if they wrap that in a special bag to keep it away from the other jerseys, but
yeah, that's definitely going to need a deeper wash than what they normally get after.
A deep cleaning, and hopefully it doesn't go in with the orange socks, as that turns everything a different color. But here we go, 7 minutes left. Cole Pauly with a beautiful ball that's cleared away by Rose Holman's defense, which comes out on the counterattack. The number 2, Gabe Cryer, the junior from New Albany, Indiana, is dispossessed by Reese Brown. Ole Olsen plays the corner. DeVries puts on chase, almost saves it, but it runs out of bounds as Quincy Perry plays a great defensive play.
Yeah. And Thomas's work ethic has been great today and yesterday. Just those balls that kind of might not be worth running down, he's done it every single time with full energy, and it's really given Hope that edge.
Ethan Jansen plays that long ball over the top. Biedersted looks to catch that in the basket catch. Number 14, Salik Ahmad, center back, plays it up. Dangerous little play back, but Urban tries to turn on the ball, and Cole Pauly takes it. The ball's played back to Hesselbein, who off the left foot still plays the ball past half field. That is incredible play by a goalkeeper.
The talent that Dan has, I mean, you see 80% of those goalies.
That's unbelievable.
Kick it out for a throw-in on the sideline there, just because they're not comfortable on their left foot, and they're worried about turning it over. Where Dan is fully confident pinging it down the field with his left foot. I mean, it's great to have a goalie back there that can do those types of things.
As we've talked about, this is his 7th game, and we're 85 minutes into it. Urban, nice little turn. He's a dangerous player, and Hesselbein will be content to lay on top of that ball and take an extra 5 seconds off. But as we've talked about, we're 85 minutes into the 7th game of the season, and Hesselbein, and we got to give it up for the whole team defense of Hope College, has given up 3 goals in 7 games, and that's a testament to Coach Blahnik's style of play. I remember talking with Coach before he even got the position, saying we are going to be known for how we play defense, and I think that's true in his 2nd season, giving up not very many goals and being one of the better defensive teams in the nation, is evidenced by the 1-0 win over University of Chicago last night.
Yeah, and that's getting ingrained at every single training Coach has. I mean, we want obviously to focus on offense too, but we understand, like, hey, if the offense only has to score 1 or 2 goals, it's going to make their life a lot more easy. So throughout this year and last year, you can really see that intentionality defensively on those transition plays. Like, Hope does not get countered easily, and when we are in that low block like we were yesterday, it's very hard to break us down just because we have guys like Cole Pauly, Jake Lyon, Cole
Reyes
Baker,
drives at the defenders, as we talked about earlier in the half. Paulo gets a shot off and just misses the near post. Under 4 minutes to go here at Van Andel Soccer Stadium on this beautiful September night, before the leaves on the trees change colors. We are experiencing what West Michigan fall is all about: soccer and more soccer. I don't know, I had another word, I couldn't think of it, but it's a beautiful night for soccer here, and Hope College is playing some great minutes.
And you see that work rate from Thomas again. I mean, just every single ball he's chasing down, every single ball he's putting that energy into, and you love to see that. If it starts with the forward doing that, I mean, the defenders really want to defend because they see someone who's not necessarily a defender putting in that effort.
3 minutes to go, 1-0 game. Hope College content to take a slow throw in. The Fighting Engineers versus the Flying Dutchman in the battle of the best mascot duel. Hope holds a 1-0 advantage. Reese Brown wins the header, but number 12, Chase Kedzior, plays the ball across to Gabe Cryer, who tries to take on Ole Olsen. Borger drives down, nice little cross. Good win from Colton Baker, and Sandez, who's playing that CDM role, given some great minutes, staying home. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, Paulo, in this incredible game. Rose Hulman looks to win the ball, and Reyes will chase that down in the corner.
Yeah, and Reyes is another player that I've loved this game. I mean, we talked about Evan not getting a lot of minutes so far this season, but coming in and just putting an absolute shift. And I think Josh has done the same thing when he's come in. He's been going at people. He's been aggressive. He's been in the right spots.
Sandez, as you're talking about it, wins the free kick for Hope. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Cole Pauly will look to walk onto the ball as Hope holds a 1-0 lead. Been a great game. These two teams tied 1-1 last year down in Terre Haute, Indiana. And today, Hope holds a 1-goal advantage and looks to hang on after their 3rd game in 5 nights. Great ball in from Cole Pauly. Jansen, Jansen jumps up for the battle, but he gets called for the foul. DeVries finishes the second one, but it doesn't count. Hulman looks to move up the field quickly with just a minute left.
Yeah, and the consistency there changed a bit. He's been letting them play, and there it seemed like not too much on Ethan Jansen, but that time there was a call. So
Kedzior looks to hold off Reyes, turns on him. Reyes grabs him, but he holds possession. 45 seconds left. Big kick challenge from Ole Olsen. Urban looks to find it underneath. Porter drives on it. Urban on the ball. Plays it wide. Olive Rose Hulman in the box. Played across. And Cole Pauly, as he's done all season, gets his head on the ball. Ole Olsen plays it down the line and out of bounds. 20 seconds left in this game. Hulman looks to tie the game. Their center back, number 14, Salik Ahmad, plays it up the field. Urban challenges. Jake Lyon wins the header off of Ethan Jansen's head.
6, 5.
And Hope will pull out the win. Paulo Alcala, thanks for joining us. A phenomenal game. Your thoughts, Paulo?
Yeah, I mean, the guys did a great job just fighting at the end of the game. I know how tired those legs were, and they were able to really fight it out and pull out that win. And that will be huge on the record for Hope College.
3 wins in 5 nights, 5 goals for, 0 against Paulo Alcala. They'll look to build. They have 4-1-2 record after losing 1 game down in Elmhurst, their lone away game so far this season, Paulo. But Coach Blahnik will take a win, 3 wins in 5 nights as we look. Please join us next time. We thank you for coming. It was a beautiful night. Tune in for more Hope College soccer action. From Van Andel Soccer Stadium, I'm Matt Margarone.
And I'm Paulo Alcala. We'll see you soon.
To meet the Flying Dutchman. In just a few moments, Hope College staff will invite you onto the field, and you will receive a Hope College men's soccer poster.
There are over 5,000 colleges and universities in the United States alone, and nearly every single one of them is named after a location or a historical figure. But along the shores of Lake Michigan, there is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historical figure, not a state, city, or physical. It is so easy to get lost in what this world lacks, to become discouraged by its needs, gaps, and flaws. Can we see beyond the uncertainty and brokenness? At Hope College, we do. Not by ignoring the world as it is, but by learning and living with the belief that this is not the world as it should be, by driving to understand, to unlock clarity, to amplify truth, by leading with inspired compassion, by embodying a vision that illuminates greater opportunity for all, by serving with anchored conviction, using our collective gifts to offer this world what it needs most: hope. Not simply hope as a desire, but hope as a way of being. Because hope has changed the way we see the world, and hope drives us to change the way the world is. Because hope shapes our calling. Because hope inspires our dreams. Because hope empowers our talents. Because hope frees us to try. Because hope transforms what we believe, transforms how we act, transforms who we are. At Hope College, we know this life-altering grace is a gift we have all been given, and it is the greatest gift we can offer the world. Hope transforms.